So, yep, beginning with the other slides. So, today we'll be discussing customers versus consumer. So, in this slide, we'll discuss the difference between customer and consumer. So, these are the differences. First is basis of for comparison, customer, consumer. What is the purpose of the purchase? In a customer, it's resale or consumption. In the consumer, it's proper consumption only. Who is the person? Customer is the individual or an organization. Consumer is generally an individual, family, or a group of people. Who pays the price of the product or service? It is paid by the customer in the customer segment, or may not be paid by the consumer. Who buys the product slash service? The customer only buys the product slash service. The consumer not necessarily buys the products or service. Is there a resale? Yes, a customer can be a business entity who can purchase it for resale, whereas consumer, it's not for a resale, it's for direct consumption only. Okay, so in this one, we will discuss about the different market types and what are the various markets that we can involve into. What makes a venture succeed or fail? According to Steve, like 90% of the ventures fail due to self-destruction and not competition. Entrepreneurs need to evaluate a few options based on market size and decide the type of venture they want to start and their risk-taking appetite. It is important to understand the type of market for you choose for a venture. The market you choose will impact multiple aspects of your business, including market size, sales model, funding necessary for the venture, customers, and how much time will it take to adopt them, competition, and what are the various risks. Not knowing what type of market can cause challenges in future. Moreover, the market you choose will determine the types of venture you are. Take a detailed look at each market type. First one, existing market. When investors and entrepreneurs go for an existing market, the advantage is that there is a little to no market risk in this market type. Competitors exist. Customers want and need better performance. Technology is usually the driving factor. The positioning is driven by the product and how much value the customers place on its features. Risk is this to think that the competitions are dumb or too slow. There is no charge that you need to fill. The charge is the gap between early adopters and the mainstream customers in the market. Okay, so coming to the second one, this is a new market. In this market type, customers do not exist in the present, so revenue generation takes years. For example, we can consider Zomato when they started. Market size is zero. Customers need to be made aware of their needs. You must consider what factors you can create that has never been offered. The charge is biggest here because you will only be selling to the very early adopters. For a new market to take off, there are many things that you need to consider. For example, who is the customer? What customer pains less problems you are trying to solve? Coming to the third one, this is the resegmented market. The resegmented market is a hybrid between a new market and an existing market, in the sense that it is a new market created from a small segment of an existing market. The feature of this type of market is first low cost, second new niche, evaluate factors that your industry has completed on and eliminate those. Evaluate what factors can be reduced well below the industry standards. Evaluate what factors can be increased above the industry standards. Evaluate what factors can be created that have never been offered. There is a bit of charm in this type of market. For example, Southwest Airlines took on the airline industry by bringing up the traditional hub and spoke model and providing just very limited services for an extremely low price. And the fourth and last one is the clone market. In clone market, customers are known because you copied an existing market. It is called a clone market because in this type of market, you are going to localize all those specific issues for your country or region that said it takes for a foreign business model and adapt it to local conditions. For example, we can consider Ola in the clone market. They adopted the Uber's market from USA and copied it in India. There are no competitors if you are the first one, and the risk may be misjudging the local needs. This market type includes adapts a foreign business model to a local condition, language, culture, import restrictions, and local regulations. Needs a large number of customers, typically greater than 100 million. Okay, so here's a snapshot of the four different types of markets. So according to the market type, in existing market, the customers are known and the customers need performance. Associated risks are lack of branding, sales, and distribution. Competitors are many. Example, Amazon. Second is research market. Customers are possibly known. Better fit market and product redefinition. Competitors are many. Southwest is an example of research market. Third one is the labor market. The customers are unknown. What does the customer need? Transformational improvement. Evangelism, associated risk are evangelism and education cycle. Competitors are none. Example is Groupon. Are customers known? Possibly in the clone market, customers are possibly known. What does the customer need? A local version of the product. What are the associated risks? Misjudging local needs. And competitors are none. Example is the way to browser. Okay, so here are some scenarios for the markets. You can take this as an example. What is care.com? It is an online marketplace to find babysitters. Historically, people have been hiring and spending money on babysitters. Care.com helps parents find babysitters more easily. Chivi.com, Amazon, and Global Trans, SpaceX, Twitter, and Groupon. Care.com, Chivi, Amazon, Golden are all in the existing marketplace. Whereas in the new marketplace, we have SpaceX, Twitter, Groupon, the resegmented markets, and then the clone markets. Okay, so in previous activity we discussed about the customer discovery. We gained insights to customer segmenting and targeting the market. It's about this is an activity we can do in order to know our customers. We'll move forward from this right now. Okay, so this activity includes finding our niche. So this activity has various questions that we can answer in order to find your niche. The first question is, what is the market that we would like to sell? What is the niche that we would like to sell? What characteristics did we use to segment our market, like geographical, demographic, behavioral, psychographic? And prepare a mental image of your customers. Use the following questions to guide you. You may add additional questions which are specific to our venture idea, like is your customer male or a female? Are we targeting both? Are we targeting adults, children, or both? Which age group are we targeting? What are their needs? What the sort of profession they are involved in, etc. How are the needs of our niche different from the rest of the market? What is the size of your niche? Broadly, how will you communicate with customers, distribute the products and services? So coming to the next part, which is the customer jobs, pains and gains. Students have identified their customer segments in the niche. At this point, we have to know what the customer needs by identifying jobs, pains and gains. Okay, so here is a diagram that denotes the value proposition canvas. Okay, this is this represents three parts. First is the customer gains, customer jobs, gains, and then the pains. And what are these? The customer jobs to be done is an end-to-end process, starting from what the customer wants to get done to addressing those needs through the product slash services being offered by the entrepreneur. An entrepreneur's success is not only in designing and launching a product slash service of his choice, but also in providing what the customer wants. For example, in the fashion industry, customer job to be done is not to pay a high price for trendy apparel, but about getting the perfect fit and a showstopper look, even if it comes at a crazy price. Customer pains are nothing but the things slash experience that annoy a customer before, during, or after trying to get the job done. It may be something that prevents a customer from getting a job done. Pains describe potential bad outcomes or risk related to getting a job done badly or not getting done at it. Moreover, just as jobs can be important or insignificant, a customer pain can be moderate or severe. These makes the customer uncomfortable and they never want to experience it. Well, we can find many examples of bad customer service when we talk about customer pains. Customer gains, on the contrary, are things slash experience that provide a feel good factor to the customer. This often makes the customer happy and possibly delighted. Online banking system and e-commerce sites slash services are an example of customer gains that benefit the customer in a big way. Entrepreneurs must understand customer jobs, pains and gains thoroughly before they design a product slash service and provide solutions to the problem worth solving. Okay, so coming to the early adopters. What are early adopters? Early adopters are a subsegment of our customers who need our product and service the most and are often as visionary as us. We have already identified our customer segments and needs. Now it is important to identify early adopters, as without this, we will never succeed. Let's understand why. According to law of diffusion innovation, early adopters are among the first set of people who adopt a new technology slash product or service. The early adopters form 13.5% of the customer base. Therefore, it is important to identify and qualify them right at the beginning. Simply put, early adopters are customers who have the problem you are trying to solve, know that they have a problem, and are actively seeking for a solution. How do you reach to early adopters? Consider channels like social media, Google AdWords, community pages, slash groups. Can you think of some other way that will work? If yes, then you can surely tell us in the comment section. Okay, so yeah, here's an example. Facebook reached out to their social network very differently. Instead of publicly launching their service and creating a brand new social networking site, they started with a very specific early adopter, a college student from Harvard campus. Okay, so here is a graph that represents the customer adoption patterns. On the x-axis, we have all the percentage of the market. So first, the innovators. Then comes the early adopters, that is 13.5%. Then the early majority, that is 34%. Then the late majority, that is 34%, and the laggards, that are 16%. While a good understanding on our early adopters is extremely crucial, it is important for us as an entrepreneur to understand that there are five types of customers. Each type of customer has his or her adoption pattern. It is important because knowing the adoption pattern of customer will help us understand how to market our products slash services for adoption. Let's learn a bit about each customer and their adoption patterns. Innovators are the first customers who try a new product or service. They are the risk takers who would like to explore and are okay if the products their service do not meet their expectation. According to Larry Murray, the UI expert, it is far better to adopt the technology to the user than to force the user to adopt to the technology. Early adopters, as explained earlier, are the most influential customers and are very active on social media. They are moderate risk takers but have high stake in providing feedback on the products slash services. They ask many questions for clarification before making a buying decision. Early majority are the wise spenders. They often consult with early adopters before buying, and they are reasonable risk takers and have an average social status. Late majority are the risk averse people who are comparatively low in social status and are basically from the low income groups. They evaluate various pros and cons before taking a buying decision. Laggards are the last to adopt, especially when it is in declining phase. They are risk averse people and not open to change. They are traditional buyers who consult only within close connections when taking a buying decision. How do customer adoption patterns help us, other entrepreneurs? Once entrepreneurs understand that the products slash service adoption patterns of people, their marketing strategies can be changed accordingly to have a bigger outreach. Innovators can be the best way to target it first to gain support. Inputs from this set of customers help entrepreneurs design prototypes before the actual launch. Early adopters can be targeted next since they are very visionary people and are thought leaders. They have many followers. Once they like a product or service, they will use various social media channels to promote your product. And it is important for entrepreneurs to keep a tab on these people and help them with any technical insights and encourage them to share their experience with a particular product or service. This type of customers will spread word of mouth. The early majority often follow the early adopters. So they too help in spreading the word. They can be targeted through more general marketing approaches. Late majority people can be targeted once the venture has been established. They can be potential buyers through special offers and promotions. Laggards are pretty laid back in taking buying decisions, hence pricing and general awareness of the product. Their service will most likely drive adoption for them. Okay, so coming to the next part. How to launch a blockbuster product? Stop asking customers what they want. Instead, start asking what they want your products to do for them. Here are some of the questions that you can ask. Okay, so what? Plan outcome based customer interviews. How? Deconstruct the process involving existing products. Select users that directly use the products. Select diverse kind of users. What is capture desired outcomes? How? Translate interviewees' solutions statements into outcomes by asking the customers what they want the stated solutions. Have customer discuss each step of their experience with the product, such as the difficulties that they encountered and what would have been the ideal scenario. Organize the outcomes, group desired outcomes under each process step in the customer mapping chain. Uh, Rate outcomes by importance and satisfaction. How? Use a rating scale of 1 to 10 to rate importance and satisfaction. Deduct the satisfaction score from the importance score. Then add the importance score to this. This will be your opportunity. Importance plus importance minus satisfaction is equals to the opportunity. High opportunity scores reveal optimal innovation possibilities. Use outcomes to design products. How? Use ratings to identify new product ideas and to segment and target markets. So next we'll discuss about the personas. So first question, what are the personas? Personas are fictional characters that represent different mindsets, motivations, behavior patterns of your intended audience or customer segments. They help you relate to the customers as people rather than entities or numbers. Why to create personas? We create personas to create a shared understanding of the user for the entire team, avoid stereotypes, getting into the why of people's behavior, arrive at meaningful insights. Best practices to be used for creating personas. First is don't just go with your idea of who your customers are. Observe, talk to them, discover their thoughts and values, have multiple data points, build multiple personas or different key segments. Don't get too sold on a persona. It might be need to change a persona when new information comes. So yeah, that thank you. That's it for today's video. We'll see you guys on the next one.